good, YouTube, man? It's your boy, man, Jake Willie Silly, man, aka Mr. Take It Easy. Here we go with the burp. Let's go ahead and burp, man. Come on. Oh my God. It's your boy, man, Jake Willie Silly, man, aka Mr. Take It Easy. Before you end up like Beezy, man, make sure y'all follow my Instagram and Twitch, man. In the description down below. Everything you know about your boy Jay is in the description down below. Make sure y'all subscribe to my second channel as well. In the description down below, you know what I'm saying? But we got 3 disturbing childhood memory horror stories. And oh, this is gonna be a good one right here. And oh my God, bro, like my childhood was fun. It was really fun, but we had some man, I'm talking about, man, childhood was freaking crazy. I ain't gonna lie, y'all had a crazy dream last night. Like I ain't gonna cap, y'all had like 3 dreams back to back, like in different scenes. I was like, with the same people. It was crazy. I had a dream I was like getting shot at. It was like we was like in some type of war. We was getting shot at. I had a dream that I killed the nigga. Bro, it was a crazy dream last night. You know what I'm saying? I had to tell y'all that, bro. I had a crazy dream. It was chaotic. I mean, I woke up, right? I had a dream, right? I woke up, then it's like, bro, it's like I restarted. It's like I continued the dream. It was weird. I ain't never had a dream like that. It was like three, and I woke up again, and then it's like I continued the dream. It was the same people in the dream. Like I continued the dream. I ain't never had a dream where it just continued. Have you ever had a dream where it just continued? You know what I'm saying? You wake up from the dream, then you go back to sleep. You probably don't dream again. Or you probably dream about something different. Man, I had a dream. I woke up, went back to sleep, and it continued. Like, I was like, what the freak? It was an active dream, though. It wasn't like a bad dream. It was just like on some action junk. It was action. Man, I had a dream I got shot at. I had a dream just a whole bunch of niggas was shooting at me. You know what I'm saying? And I just had a dream, bro. Yeah, man, it was that, man. I was getting shot at. Everybody wanted my head. It was like I was the most wanted person in the free world. You know what I'm saying? It was crazy. It's like everybody wanted, like, I had to move so militant. It's like everybody wanted me dead. You feel me? Everybody wanted me dead. It was crazy. You know what I'm saying? I was like, what the freak, gang? You know what I'm saying? That kind of made me a little more paranoid, nigga. I ain't God. I know y'all probably like it's a dream, but I don't know, man. She ain't kind of vip. But yeah, man. We got 3 disturbing childhood memory horror stories, and y'all, man. My childhood, man. We're not going to even get into that because a lot of y'all already heard the stories. I don't like telling the same things over and over again. A lot of y'all heard the stories. I've had scary experiences when it comes to I'll say like the paranormal. I used to be very scared of the dark when I was little. Oh my God, y'all, I used to be so afraid of the dark when I was little. When I mean straight nightlight. It was just something like, bro, when I was little, it was just something about that dark. Y'all, am I tripping? Bro, now I sleep with the dark off, no problem. I ain't scared of the dark. I can't even sleep with the TV on. Now it's like, you know, it's cool. Feel me? I've been like that now. But, bro, when I was little, it's like when you get older, that dark ain't really hitting like it was hitting back then. But bro, when we was little, it was something about that dark. I don't know what it was about that dark when we was little, but it was too dark. It's like you felt like a presence in the room with you. It was just crazy. Like, that's how it was, bro. I used to always go in my brother's room and sleep in my brother bed, bro, with him. You know what I'm saying? It's like my older brother, bro. He always used to expect, bro, me to, every time I knock on the door, he just open the door, bro. He's like, all right, come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? Being a little brother, bro, he just let me sleep in the bed. You know what I'm saying? But I used to be so scared. I used to sleep in my sister's room, too. Bro, I never slept in my room for real. You know what I'm saying? Back in Alabama, bro. You know what I mean? But, bro, I had night lights. It was just something about that dark when I was little, boy. And then especially being a kid like me, bro, that experienced certain things, bro, it kind of like was scary to me, you know what I'm saying, honestly. I feel like any kid would have been scared, bro, experiencing what I experienced, you know what I mean? Because I ain't gonna lie, I had some crazy childhood stuff, bro, happen to me, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I ain't like how I just cut off like that. I ain't like how that sound in my ear.
9 years old. I lived with my mom and little sister in a small house in a quiet town. The street was mostly safe, and kids would ride their bikes outside in the summer. But even back then, there were things that didn't feel right about the house. My mom used to say it was old, and old houses make noises. But some of the things I remember from that time didn't sound like house noises. They sound like something else. Something I still don't really know how to explain. The first thing started one night when I couldn't sleep. I was lying in my bed with a blanket pulled up to my chin, staring at the little glow-in-the-dark stars on my ceiling. My room wasn't very big, just a bed, a dresser, and a toy chest near the window. I remember looking at the shadows on the wall from the trees outside. The branches swayed whenever the wind blew, and I told myself that's what I was seeing. But then I noticed one shadow wasn't moving like the others. It was in the corner, down low near my toy chest. At first, I thought it was a pile of clothes or one of my big stuffed animals. I almost laughed at myself because I thought I was just being a scared kid, but then I blinked and the shadow was gone. I remember feeling cold, like the kind of cold that comes from the inside of your body, not the air. I pulled the blanket over my head and fell asleep. The next morning, I didn't even think about it until I saw my toy chest. It was standing open, like someone had been looking inside. I never left it open because my mom would yell if toys spilled out. I closed it and didn't say anything. A few weeks later, my sister, who was only 5, told my mom she didn't like the man in the closet. I basically froze when she said it because she said it so casually, as if it were just a fact. My mom brushed it off and said little kids imagine things.
I don't know what be with y'all parents that do that, bro. Stop doing that. Like, bro, if you a parent, bro, and you got kids watching my video, bro, stop doing that, gang. You know what I'm saying? Like, kids don't lie. You ain't got a reason to be lying. You feel me? About, like, why do y'all do that? That junk is so, like, that junk make me OD mad. Let my child come to me saying the man in the house. I promise you, we searching this whole house. You feel me? Stop. Can you please stop doing that, gang? Like, for real. Junk piss me off, bro. Stop doing that, gang. Like, kids just dumb or something. Y'all be thinking y'all kids just dumb. I swear, bro, kids is smart as freak, bro. I was a smart kid, bro, growing up, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why people be thinking that kids just dumb, bro. Kids remember stuff, bro. This man 9 years old, remember that, bro. You know what I'm saying? Kids are very intelligent, bro. You feel me? Like, I swear, bro, parents be thinking kids be so dumb, bro. Kids smart as freak, bro. She know what the freak she see in that closet. But you, kids imagining stuff, all right. She ain't imagining nothing. Stop doing that, please, stop. You know what I'm saying? All that little imagining and all that. Ain't nobody imagining nothing. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing that I vow to myself. I'm going to take whatever my kids come to me, I'm going to take it serious, 100%. Stop doing that junk, bro. That junk just pissed me off, bro. I be hearing about parents doing that junk all the time. That junk ain't right, bro. That junk ain't cool, bro.
I saw my sister's face, and I could tell she wasn't making it up. She said he would stand in the closet at night and whisper, but she couldn't hear the words. My mom tucked her in that night and said a prayer with her, but she didn't check the closet. Later that night, I woke up because I heard something dragging across my floor, like someone pulling their nails across the wood. I was too scared to move, but the sound stopped right by my bed. I was sure if I looked over the side, I'd see something staring up at me. I just froze there, clutching the blanket until I fell asleep again. The next morning, there were long scratches on the floor right by the side of my bed. They were fresh, like someone had carved into the wood. I remember running to show my mom, but she got angry. She said I must have been playing with something sharp or...
Tell this mama, bro. I don't gonna lie, bro. You the type of mama. Getting angry. Boy didn't do nothing wrong. You getting mad at this boy. You got angry because he was dragging furniture. That boy ain't dragging no furniture. That boy in his bed. But yeah, you one of them mamas. All right. You one of them. You feel me? So something got to happen to your kid for you to believe him. And then when something happens to your kid, you going to be crying. Oh, my baby. Look at anybody do this. They've been telling you what was going on. Saying somebody was scratching across the floor. Saying somebody was in the closet. But you just brushing it off. It's crazy, bro. Even when it comes to parents. Stuff got to happen to your kids for you to believe them. So if you got little kids and listen to me. Listen to me, bro. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. You feel me? But no, this pisses me off for real. I don't be playing. If you got little kids, and I know I got some parents watching me. If you got little kids, and your kids saying that something is wrong, something in the closet, just Don't brush up your kids like they stupid. And your kids ain't stupid. So don't think you could do anything around your kids and your kids ain't gonna remember that. Bro, I remember things from the first grade, bro. Nigga, I remember my kindergarten teacher, bro, Miss Griffin. I remember my landmark, bro. I remember my landmark looking everything. I'm a little kid, gang. I'm very aware of my surroundings, bro, when I was little, bro. I'm very aware. Literally. First grade teacher, Miss Hartzog. Yeah. Second grade teacher, Miss Baker. Third grade teacher, Miss Bradley. Fourth grade teacher, Miss Bowie. Fifth grade teacher, Miss dang what that white lady name was. Miss dang, I forgot that white lady. I know she a white lady though. Miss dang, I forgot her name. Hey, but I remember her though. I swear I do. Miss Stokes. Fifth grade teacher, Miss Stokes. Sixth grade teacher, dang, who my sixth grade teacher? Gerard. Or we had I Miss Prevette. Miss Prevette. And I know how them other ones look. I forgot their name though, but I know exactly how they look. Seventh grade had Miss shoot, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, I don't know the name, but I remember them faces though. I promise you, I remember them faces. I don't know the names though. I forgot the names, but I remember them faces. I remember Mr. Blankenship, I remember all of them. So stop thinking kids is stupid, bro. You feel me? That's what a lot of y'all grown-ups, bro. Even now, you know what I'm saying? Like something that my dad be pissing me off with, bro. You know what I'm saying? When I be talking to him and sometimes, you feel me? Like, bro, we like bro, like he don't want to listen to me because he older than me, bro. Just because you older than me, that don't mean you know more than me, gang. You know certain things more than me. It's a lot of things that I know probably that you don't. What's with these older folks thinking that we don't know more than them, bro? Like we can't teach them anything. I swear these older folks don't be wanting to listen to nobody young. You know what I'm saying? I swear, bro. You know Jesus was preaching when he was 12 years old? You know what I'm saying? Jesus was preaching when he was a youngin'. You feel me? So it's just like, bro, y'all just be thinking that little kids dumb, bro. They just be making me mad, bro. Because we know a whole lot more than a lot of y'all. For real. You know, so you can teach us certain things, but I promise you, bro, I'm going to keep it real with you. It's a lot of stuff that I can teach my pops that he know nothing about. You can teach me some things, but I promise you, I can teach you some things too, nigga. Don't think that you just got all the knowledge and all the wisdom. Nah, that ain't the case, nigga.
Dragging furniture. I swore I hadn't, but she didn't believe me.
So I'm saying, look at this.
After that, the nights got worse. I would hear faint whispers, almost like a radio on low volume, and it would come from my closet. Sometimes my sister would cry in her room, and when I ran in, she would be pointing at the corner, saying, "He's there, he's there." I never saw him, but I believed her. You know when someone's watching you and the hairs on your arms stand up? That's how it felt. The scariest night was in the middle of winter. I woke up and saw my bedroom door was open, even though I always shut it tight. I could see the hallway light because my mom left one on for us at night. But then, as I watched, the light in the hall went out. I thought maybe the bulb turned out. Then I heard footsteps coming down the hall. They stopped outside my door. I wanted to scream for my mom, but nothing came out. The door creaked, and I saw a tall, dark shape lean in, just its head poking into the room. I shut my eyes and pretended to be asleep. When I opened them again, the door was closed and I was alone.
Bruh.
In the morning, I asked my mom if she had come into my room. She said no, she had been asleep all night. My sister said she saw the man again standing by her bed. We told my mom together, and she finally looked worried.
Thank you.
She lit a candle and said a prayer in each room of the house.
Man, you gotta move out the house.
Things were quiet for a little while after that.
Bro, you gotta realize certain things, bro, is like, and you know what it is? It's paranormal. I told y'all I lived in a haunted apartment. I'm gonna tell y'all the story. Haunted apartment. Swear for Jesus. Something with that apartment. I told y'all that. Even the house I'm in now. I don't know how I got up in. I'm not trying to speak that over this house. I'm a Christian man. Something with this house, gang. And it's coming out of my mouth. It's something with this freaking house. Bro, when I be home, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm alone. You know what I'm saying? So like when I be home, bro, I swear I be hearing like people like some be walking upstairs, gang. You think I be lying, bro? Like straight up, bro. Like, I'm like, bro, F all the creaking, bro. I know footsteps when I hear footsteps, bro. I swear, bro. Satan has been attacking me ever since I've been a little kid, bro. Since I've been a little kid, it's like to the point I'm not even scared, but I swear I be hearing stuff, bro. I be like, what the? bro. Like it'd be footsteps. Footsteps, bro. Like in my old apartment, y'all. I used to hate going out, bro. I never went outside, bro. By myself. I used to always feel like that, bro. Or somebody I can remember it just like yesterday, man. Somebody that apartment, that long old freaking apartment, but dark. Dark old apartment. Ooh. I can remember it vividly. Bedroom right here. Open up the door. You know, we right here. Me and my sister share the room. So we right here. Open up the door. All you see is darkness. All you see is darkness. It always felt like something, bro. And we felt the presence in there, bro. It was just a weird feeling. Weird feeling. Every time I was home alone, I never went to my room. I always stayed at the front. You feel me? It was.
But it didn't last. One afternoon, I came home from school before my mom. I was sitting on the couch doing homework when I heard the sound of the toy chest in my room slam shut. The thing is, nobody else was home. I hoped it was just the wind, but when I walked down the hall, I saw my bedroom door was wide open. My toy chest was closed, but all my toys were scattered on the floor like someone had dumped them out. I backed away and waited outside until my mom came home. When I told her, she still didn't believe me and said the cat knocked things over. Years later, after we moved out, I asked my mom if she ever experienced anything in that house. She hesitated, then said yes. She said sometimes she would wake up and see a shadow standing in her doorway. She said she never told us because she didn't want to scare us, but she admitted she believed there was something wrong with that house. She said she thought it was a man, someone who used to live there. She never said much more, but I know what I saw, and I know what my sister saw too. Even now, as an adult, when I think about that time, I feel sick in my stomach. It wasn't imagination, it was something real, and it wanted us to know it was there. Sometimes late at night when I can't sleep, I still hear the sound of nails dragging across the floor.
I feel like that was on some paranormal junk, bro. I ain't gonna lie, I feel like that was straight paranormal, okay?
When I was 10 years old, my family moved into a bigger house
I was
because my
scared.
mom had just gotten remarried and we needed more space.
Scared?
The house was nice, newer than the one we lived in before, and it was in a quiet neighborhood with a lot of trees. I thought I would be happy there. At first, everything seemed normal, but then little things started happening that made me feel like the house wasn't right. My bedroom was at the end of the hall. It had two big windows that faced the backyard and a closet that was deeper than the one I had before. I liked it until the first night I slept there. I woke up around midnight because I heard something moving in the closet. It wasn't loud, just soft shuffling like clothes being brushed against. I stared at the closet and told myself it was just the house settling. I know it sounds cliche, but most people, even as children, would assume small sounds coming from here and there in a house are just typical house noises that you hear every day.
You're right.
But
Well, certain noises, bro, you just gotta understand, certain noises ain't the house. Like the house was creaking on. My house don't creak, bro. I'm gonna keep it real with you. My house don't really make noises, bro. So when something make a noise, bro, it kind of throw me off a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You know, it can creak and all, but certain I don't know. F that. Certain noises just feel like it's somebody in this mother effer. You feel me? You know the crazy thing is, I don't even get scared. I don't know if it's like I'm immune to it. I don't know, man. Like I don't get scared. I told y'all somebody yelled my name in my room. I tell y'all the same thing. Cause it'd be like, it was crazy. I told y'all that. Somebody yelled Jalen in my room. The room I'm sitting in right now. Somebody said Jalen, bro. I feel like God sometimes be talking to me. That's way of letting know. I don't know. But it wasn't like a scary voice. It was like just like a deep, calm voice. It was just like, Jalen. Have y'all ever had that happen to you? That used to happen to me every time when I was a kid. Somebody used to scream my name. I know that happened to some of y'all. Somebody say your name and you go out and ask your mom and dad, you used to call my name? And they say no. You know when somebody calls your name? I had it happen to me so many times. Somebody clearly called my name. Literally. And I wasn't scared. I know any normal kid would have been scared as freak if that would have happened. You alone in the crib, nobody here. You know what I'm saying? Somebody just say your name. Somebody just say Jalen. Nigga, and I wasn't scared. That's the crazy thing. I don't know. I don't know if I'm just built different. I don't know if God just removed fear from me. I don't be getting scared.
I saw the door move.
Crazy.
It didn't swing open, but it shivered like someone had lightly pressed on it from the inside. I wanted to run to my mom's room, but I was frozen.
Sometimes I be wanting to get scared.
I stayed that way until I fell back asleep, still staring at the closet. The next morning, the closet door was cracked open just a little, even though I had shut it tight. I asked my mom if she had gone in there, and she said no. She said maybe the air vents pushed it, but I knew it wasn't the air vents. The nights after that got worse. I started hearing tapping on the window glass. At first, I thought it was tree branches, but when I looked, there were no branches near the window. The tapping would go on for minutes, and when I pulled the blanket over my head, it would stop. I tried to ignore it until one night I finally peeked out. I saw a pale hand pressed against the window. It was on the outside, but the window was on the second floor, way too high for anyone to reach without a ladder.
Freak.
The hand stayed there for a long time, just pressed, without moving. Then it slid down slowly and disappeared. I didn't sleep at all that night. I told my mom, and she started cracking up laughing when I told her.
Bro, there ain't nothing funny about that, bro. Like, something saying? You see what I'm saying? That was the second parent doing the same jump, bro. Ain't nothing funny, bro. Y'all probably like, bro, it ain't that serious. That junk serious, bro. That junk can traumatize a kid, bro. Y'all don't be knowing, bro, if it ain't happened to you. That junk ain't nothing to play with, bro. For real, bro. That junk scary, bro. Like, being a kid, that junk scary. No cap, bro. Like, nigga, I used to cry every time I seen shadows, bro. The junk ain't funny, bro. That junk ain't funny. It would've made me mad, bro. Like, I'm telling you something, bro. Like, that junk scaring me, bro. Like, seeing the hand, bro, on the window, bro. I'm here knocking on my freaking window, bro. Hearing noise in my closet, bro. Ain't nothing to be played with, bro. Gotta know when to play and when not to play, bro. This ain't the time to play, because you ain't dealing with it, though. That's why you cracking up and you smiling, because you ain't dealing with it every night. You sleeping peaceful in your room, but I'm dealing with this junk in my room, though. Junk ain't funny to me, bro. You know what I'm saying? We got mad as heck, but no cap. How about we switch rooms then?
I told my mom, and she started cracking up laughing when I told her. She didn't believe me for a second. When she saw that I wasn't just saying it as a prank or a joke, she leaned more into trying to convince me that I was probably in a half-asleep state and seeing things from my dream, but I knew that was a load of horseshit. My stepdad didn't believe me either. He said I was making it up for attention, and he also got a laugh out of it. But I started noticing he kept the hallway light on at night, so maybe he didn't feel as safe as he pretended. A month later, my little brother, who was 4, started talking about the white lady. He would say she came into his room and sat on his bed. My mom thought it was just his imagination, but one night I heard him screaming. I ran in and saw him curled up under his blanket crying. When he finally calmed down, he said the white lady had been standing by his door, just staring at him. He said her eyes were all black. I believed him because of what I had seen at my window. I started sleeping with the blanket over my head every night, but that didn't stop the dreams. I began to dream of the white lady too. She would stand in the corner of my room and whisper my name. Her voice was dry, like leaves rubbing together. Sometimes I would wake up and still hear it, faint but definitely real. One night I woke up and saw her standing at the foot of my bed. She was taller than anyone I had ever seen. Her head almost touched the ceiling. She wore a long white dress that moved even though the air was still. Her hair was black and stringy, and her face was pale like chalk. Her eyes were like empty black holes. I tried to scream, but nothing came out. I shut my eyes, and when I opened them again, she was gone. But my closet door was wide open.
Y'all got scared? Boy, scared right here. I'm gonna get you with this one. Yeah, we late night with it. Hey, the white lady, she in your room right now, gang. But that white lady, but she right by your room. Oh, she right there, gang. Nah, though, this ain't no game, though, for real. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, for real. And this, I told you. Yeah, you think it's a game. You think it's a joke. Joke ain't no joke. Like I said, y'all, I experienced it. I ain't experienced the white lady. I experienced some crazy stuff. I told y'all, and I say this all the time for all my fellas and for all my women watching this video. I say it all the time. You know we spirits, right? You know we spirits. So you think, see, people are always trying to say something about ghosts. They love trying to say ghost and all that. Ghost. It's not no ghost. It's spirits. It's something watching you right now. You don't even know it. Something looking at you right now. You don't even know it. Something trying to kill you right now. You don't even know it. It's a spiritual world, and it's the human world. The spiritual world is way more real than the human world. Because guess what? The spiritual world is eternal. The real world, the human world is temporary. That's why I say it all the time. That's why when you see dead people, they don't wake up. Why don't he wake up? Because he's not there. This isn't how we look for real. We are spirits. Spirits. I told you, my mom had a lot of scary nurse stories. I used to love hearing my mom's nurse stories because my mom was a nurse. So, my mama deal with dead people. Now, I mean, that's all she see. My mom been seeing death ever since I've been little. She been seeing death, bro. So, like, I used to love just hearing my mom nurse stories. It was so interesting to me, bro. You know what I mean? About what she experienced. One day, man. Some of y'all probably heard this story. Some of y'all probably didn't. One day she said, she was doing a daily routine. Because my mom, back in Alabama, she used to watch dead people. Wash them up. You know what I mean? All that. Get them prepared for the funeral home to come and get them. But, yeah. So she pulled up to the house and the wife was outside smoking a cigarette. So my mom said it kind of felt a little odd. Why is she outside? Like, I don't know. Her husband just died. You would think that she would be like beside her husband, but she outside smoking a cigarette. So my mama go up to the porch and ask what's going on. And my mom was like, she said, I'm not going in there. You can go in there, but I'm not going in there until he leaves. So that would kind of throw it. Why wouldn't you want to go in? Your husband just died. What? Why wouldn't you want to be by your husband? Mama said she went into the room. She said the man looked disfigured. Remind y'all, that man was just walking. She said the man was just walking yesterday. Got back sick again, and then the lady woke up, bro, with her husband looking like that. Like my mama said it looked like he seen something, scared. My mama said he looked like he was scared. Mama said she couldn't clean the body, bro. She said she felt the presence wrong in the room. She said she felt it wrong. It felt demonic. It felt wrong. She said, I'm not finna clean this body. Covered him back up. She said he looked scared. He was dead. Usually when people die, she said that man looked like he seen something. It's things that, bro, things that you can't see. It's so scary. It's so scary. I don't think a lot of y'all prepared at what we're going to see in the afterlife. I don't think a lot of y'all prepared at what we're going to see in the afterlife, man. And I'm telling you, bro, and look me dead in my eyes when I'm saying this. I ain't trying to scare you. I experienced it, bro. I experienced it. I ain't experienced her. But I experienced the same shadow following me around everywhere I went. I experienced it. So going hee and ha like that junk funny. Just know this nigga ain't making this up.
I tried to scream, but nothing came out. I shut my eyes, and when I opened them again, she was gone.
That junk is so
my closet door was wide open.
real, y'all.
After that, I couldn't go in my closet anymore. I begged my mom to let me sleep in her room, but she said I need to learn how to be brave. I think she didn't want to admit she was scared too. The worst night came during a storm.
That girl said, learn how to be brave.
Loud wind. I woke up to the sound of my window creaking. When I looked, the window was slowly sliding open, even though it was locked. I could see the lock turning by itself. The window opened all the way, and I saw the white lady climb in. She didn't move like a person. She floated. Her feet never touched the floor. She drifted toward my bed and leaned down until her face was right in front of mine. I felt her cold breath on my skin. She whispered my name again, and this time I screamed as loud as I could. My mom and stepdad came running in, but when they turned on the light, the window was closed and locked, and no one else was there. They yelled at me for scaring everyone, but I could see in their faces that they were worried. The weird thing about that part of the story is that I don't vividly remember what happened between the moment I saw that lady floating towards me and my screaming. The best I can explain it is that I sort of blacked out for a moment before remembering screaming and having my parents rush into the room. My window was closed again, which would suggest to people that it was just a night terror. That's what my parents believed it was, I think. My mom started taking me to therapy for a while because they were worried about me. We lived in that house for 3 more years, and I never got used to it. My brother stopped talking about the white lady, but I think it was because he was too scared, not because she stopped visiting. Sometimes I would hear him crying at night and saying, "Go away." I think he just also didn't want to be forced into going to therapy. Sometimes when it storms at night, I still get scared to even get up to go to the bathroom or get water. I'll glance over at corners of the room, making sure I don't see something tall lurking there. It goes to show how these kinds of things stick with you into adulthood. I'd be more open to believing it was simply night terrors if it weren't for the fact that I saw that hand on my window before my little brother even first mentioned the white lady. I guess this is just one of those freakish experiences that cannot be explained.
It's a good one, man. I ain't gonna lie, it's a good story right here. Some good ones right here.
When I rode my bike every day after school. I lived on a quiet street with small houses and big trees. I learned every crack in the sidewalk. I learned where the mailman stops. One house I liked was down the block. I had to ride near the corner of the block to get a view of the yard. There was a long driveway and a wide lawn. An older man stood in that driveway most afternoons. He'd always wear a hat, and he'd stand where the driveway met the sidewalk and look down the street. When I rode by, he would say hi. He never came onto the sidewalk. He never stepped off his driveway. He would call out and wave and then go back to watching his yard. I always waved back. My mother told me to never cross the street by myself, so I never crossed to actually speak to the man face to face, and the man knew that. He would call to me from his place and ask about school. He would ask about my bike. He asked if I liked the bell on my new red bike. I even remember once he told me a joke about a cat that made me laugh. We talked for weeks like that. The conversations were short. They were always from his driveway to the curb. He seemed to know small things about me without me saying them. For example, the fact that I had a little brother or my dad got a new car. I never told him these things. I thought maybe he had seen us from down the block or something, like he was just a neighbor who watched the street. One day I got a brand new bike. It was red with a shiny bell like I mentioned before. I rode down the block slow and he called out, "Nice bike." He asked if I wanted to race to the corner. I told him no because my mom would be angry. He smiled and said one day. After that, we talked about small things. He told me about a bird that liked his fence, and then about a rule about never stepping on a certain stone. Then he told me a story about a dog that would always bring a slipper back. He sounded like someone who had time to watch small things. I started looking for him when I was on my bike. Some afternoons he was there and sometimes he wasn't. Then one week, he stopped coming out. I rode down the block past the house and no one stood there. The curtains in the front window were closed. I slowed down and looked at the driveway, and it was kind of weird not seeing the man there. I wanted to ask my mother if I could cross the street. She said no. She said the road was not for unsupervised kids. Anyway, a few days later, I saw a woman in the backyard of that house. I had never seen anyone in that yard before. I had to ride around the corner to see her. She had her hair tied back, and she held a watering can, so I had to assume she was watering flowers back there. I stopped my bike down the street so she would not see me too close. I wanted to call across the road like I always did, but I didn't. I don't know if I was too shy or scared of what my mother would say if I were staying out too late. The woman didn't seem to notice me any more than I noticed her, though. A few days later, I rode by again, and the woman was on the back porch. She had a mug in her hands. I sat on my bike and watched for a bit. Then she opened a small side door.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, I'm just like bro though. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm just like bro. Like one thing about me, y'all, I am a people watcher. I enjoy watching people. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. You know what I mean? It's not nothing weird about that. I just watch people. You learn a lot about people by just watching them. I am a people watcher. Sometimes, bro, all the time. Not sometimes, all the time. Before I go in the grocery store, before I go anywhere, I just sit in my car. Like some of y'all, bro, you just get it. What I want a lot of y'all to do, bro, I just give y'all little tips. Before you go anywhere, bro, just sit in your car and just watch people. Maybe you doing that can save your life. Just watch people. I just sit in my car for at least 4 minutes just watching. I'm talking about I'll be even today when I went to Publix. You know what I'm saying? I do it every time I go out. Turn on my car and I just sit, watch everybody. sit and observe, look at the cars. I'm talking about y'all, I'll be right here. I'll be watching people all the way down. People don't even know I'll be watching. That's why I say somebody always watch. I'll be right here and I'll be looking at somebody from heck of feet away. Don't even know I'm watching. I'm just sitting there watching. Oh, what they talking about over there? Wondering what's going on. I'm one of them people that's watching. You don't even know it. That's me. Turn off the lights, of course. Look at my rearview mirrors. Be seeing people having conversations. I always do that. I always watch people. I'm just watching people. Then when I don't see nothing strange, I get out of my car. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna lie. I'm a people watcher. I'm not gonna lie. Even when it comes to my neighborhood, I'm always like looking at the blinds. I'm really like a neighborhood watch. I know every car. I know how every person look, bro. Going from him right here all the way to down there, I know how every person look. I feel like that's important. So if I see somebody riding in this mother, you know what I'm saying, that doesn't look familiar, that gets suspicious. You know what I'm saying? It gets very suspicious. I am a people watcher, bro. I am such a people watcher.
And went around the house.
No matter where I'm at, I'm watching people. I don't care. I know a lot of y'all like that too.
I pedaled slowly to the corner and waited where the sidewalk curved. I looked down the block just to ensure my mom wasn't outside. Then I decided I would quickly cross the street. I pushed my pedals and crossed like my life depended on it. The house looked bigger from up close. The driveway was long and sloped down to the road. I felt like I was not allowed to be there. I stopped at the end of the driveway near the back gate. The woman heard me. She turned and saw a small boy with a red bike standing at the gate. She looked surprised, but not angry. She came to the gate and opened it, and she asked what I was doing back there. I told her about the man on the driveway and that he would used to say hi when I would bike past. I told her he knew my name and that he said he would race me one day. She wiped her hands on her dress like she had been working, and then said the man I described sounded like her husband. I smiled, thinking she would say he went on a trip or he's inside and
that nigga ain't real.
But she didn't smile. She said he had died the year before.
What? Wow. You know, my auntie had a similar story, y'all. She had a similar story, saying how she was in the house and she walked outside her room and her neighbor across the street had died and she didn't even know it. But she walked outside her room and then she seen like her neighbor, the person across the street, she seen her in her house in a white dress. And she said she was just floating and just looking at her. And then she said after that happened, she went back in the room and whatnot, that happened. And she was confused. She was like, the next morning she got like confirmation that she was dead. And then all that happened. She said she was spooked out. But she said the thing that spooked her out the most is when she went to the funeral, the same dress that she seen her wearing in her house was the same dress she was wearing in the casket. That spooked me to freak out. And I know when somebody lying. She wasn't stuttering. She was just speaking word for word, bar for bar. I could tell that scared her. She said the same dress that she seen her in her house was the same dress she seen her in the casket. And she said this was a lady that she used to interact with across the street. That's y'all crazy, right? So I'm like, wow, that's crazy. I knew what you were going to say. I knew what you were going to say before you. So you've been talking to her husband. You've been talking to her and her husband dead. That's crazy. I ain't gonna lie, that would have spooked me out. I ain't gonna lie. I don't even get spooked, but that would have spooked me out. I've been talking to a dead person.
She wiped her hands on her dress like she had been working, and then said the man I described sounded like her husband. I smiled, thinking she would say he went on a trip or he's inside and she'll go get him, but she didn't smile. She said he had died the year before. She said he died in his chair. His name was Harold. I felt a cold space open in my chest. I asked her if she had a picture. I wanted to see him. She went inside and returned with a small frame. The photograph showed a man with the same hat and the same broad smile.
That's him.
He actually bore a resemblance to the man I'd always seen. Then the woman said the photo was new, taken only a couple of years ago. She said her husband had a scar across his cheek since he was young. I looked at the photo close. and the man in the picture had a thin, pale scar from ear to mouth. I remembered the man on the driveway. He had no scar. He had a round, plain face and smooth skin. The hat matched and the smile matched, but the scar did not. I told her I once saw a mark on the man's face, but I thought he rubbed his cheek once. She said that that scar had been there for a long time, but that he'd hide it under stubble sometimes. She said again that her husband had died and that no one else lived in the house. She said she had moved back last summer to take care of the garden, and that she's never seen or heard anyone standing in the driveway. I honestly started to get kind of scared at this point. I thanked her and backed down the driveway. I didn't look back into the yard again. I rode home slow and put the bike in the garage. The bike ride back was kind of like how when you almost get into a car accident, you'll drive home the rest of the way in silence with the radio off. My mom didn't ask any questions when I got home. She just told me to be careful. That night I couldn't sleep. I thought about the man with the hat. I thought about his laugh and the way he said my name, and I thought about the scar in the photograph. The next day I went by the house and the curtains were open. Sunlight touched the porch and driveway, but no one stood in the driveway. I waved from the corner, but no one waved back, so I pedaled away. For a while, nothing else happened. I tried to forget. I made new routes on my bike. I talked with kids on other blocks. Weeks passed. Then one night, I woke up and heard my name. It sounded like someone outside the house near my window. The voice was familiar. It said my name like the man across the street used to say it. I sat up fast and my head started spinning. Over the light sound of raindrops outside, I knew for a fact I was hearing my name being repeatedly called. I shouted for my mother and then threw the covers over myself, hiding. She came in a hurry and sat by the bed. I told her about the voice outside my window. She rubbed my back and told me it was the wind. To make me feel better, she went to the window and lifted the blinds. She said there wasn't anyone out there, so I went over to check myself. There was a light rain outside, but other than that, my mom was right. My father got up and checked the locks to the windows and doors. He looked outside with a flashlight, which made me feel better. They said there was no one out there. When I insisted I heard a voice, they said perhaps the most typical thing a parent would say to a scared child, that I dreamed it. The next morning, my throat hurt from shouting the night before. I told my friends at school, and they laughed at me for implying I believed in ghosts. One friend dared me to stand in the driveway of that house at night and call his name. I did not take that dare. Days passed and nothing happened, so I moved on. The years went on and the street changed. Houses sold and the woman's house stood empty for a little while. I once saw movers taking boxes out. Later on, new people were painting the front. The long driveway was still there, but it had new cars. I rode past and did not look for a man in a hat. I got older. I learned other routes. I learned the names of new neighbors and their dogs, and eventually, at the age of 18, I moved out for college. I never moved back to that house because my parents sold it while I was in college, but the memory of that man sits like a small stone in my chest. I wonder why I didn't ask the woman for more pictures or go back to press her for more details. I guess in that moment, I was scared to wonder if I'd been talking to a ghost. I didn't cross that street again for a long time. I told this story to one or two people later in life, and they even asked why I didn't go back and ask that woman more, or why I didn't tell the woman everything I remembered. Maybe they were right. Maybe I should have been braver. Maybe I should have asked more questions about the scar or to see a wedding photo. But I was 8, I wasn't really thinking that way. A few years ago, I drove down the block just for the hell of it. A child was riding a bike near the corner. The driveway was empty. For a moment, I wanted to stop. I wanted to ask if anyone had stood there and said hi. I wanted to know if anyone else had heard a voice in the rain. I wanted a small answer that would close the gap. But I didn't stop, I just kept driving. The memory stays as it was, and I try my best to suppress it these days.
That's crazy. I ain't gonna lie. This is probably one of the best stories I've ever heard on Mr. Nightmare. All 3 were bangers. All 3. That's crazy though, bro. Most likely, bro, you was talking to her husband. I ain't gonna lie. Most likely you was talking to her husband, but that's crazy, bro. Know what I'm saying, bro? The spiritual world, man, it gets crazy, man. But anyways, man, I know I scared some of y'all, man. But anyways, man, it's your boy Jay, man. Take it easy. Put you in the light bees, man. Your boy Jay out, man. Gang.